Greetings, everyone. This is a shot of whiskey, and yeah, it's been a while. Again, I'm going to briefly go into the two main reasons why it's taken so long for me to make another video, and then I'm going to actually talk about what this video is about. So the first one involves my car. Shortly after I put out the last video that I did, I got into my first car accident. Everyone involved was fine. If you guys are curious about the legalities, yes, I was at fault. I have no problem admitting this. The person who I ended up hitting, she seemed chill at the time. She could have legitimately been that way. It could have been a farce, and she's planning on fucking me over at some point. It could be that she meant it at the time, and maybe at some point she will fuck me over. Not to say that I couldn't understand. I mean, in certain situations, yeah. To be entirely honest, I think financially speaking, she's a hell of a lot off. She's a hell of a lot better off than I am. I mean, she was driving around a brand spanking new 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and I just bought, this 2004 beat up used car that had over 200,000 miles on it, because it's what I could afford. I'm sure financially speaking, she's better off than me. The other reason why it's taking me so long is I've been spending a lot of my free time, preparing for a convention that happened not too long ago in Portland. This is a convention that I've been a part of every year since 2006. It's practically part of my identity as an adult. My son, similar thing for him. He's attended every single Komoricon of his life since he was a fetus. And he's attended a few other conventions as well, not just including Rose City Comic Con earlier this year, but other ones too. In fact, now that I can drive and I have a car and stuff like that, I've been talking with him about us going to other conventions in other parts of the state and maybe even down into Oregon. There's one that takes place in July, I think. I'll double check on the date, but it's in Spokane. Now maybe we can do it. So yeah, a lot of preparation for that, and mostly it was because I ran a couple of panels, so there's a lot of stuff for me to do with those. I also submitted some fan fiction, which one of them in particular took a lot of work because it was huge. It was over 23,000 words in this thing. I did not win for any of the fiction that I had submitted. Don't necessarily agree with the reasoning for one of them, which was the 23,000 word one, but I guess I shouldn't be surprised either, because there was only one judge, and it was a woman in her, I'm guessing 40s, maybe 50s. I seriously doubt she would have given a crap about the contents in the story that I had written. Plus, most of the people who did win something, it was for stories where it was shipping characters who normally aren't shipped together. For example, I'm not saying this is one of them, but for example, if somebody had done something like this with the Pokemon universe, they could have shipped Brock with Jessie from Team Rocket. Something that would not make sense if you look at the canon of the series, at least to my knowledge. Oh god, now I got that thought in my head. Ew. But yeah, so anyways, that's what's been going on. Getting my car fixed, which by the way, I just got it back on Monday. And the convention. So both of these are taken care of. I can do this kind of stuff now. I'm also looking at changing what I do. Basically what I'm going to try to do, this is going to be an experiment first. I want to use the OBS studio recording thing to play a video on YouTube and make responses to it. Basically a quick way to do response videos. So yeah. Anyways, what this video's primary focus is going to be about, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. On Twitter a while ago, I found this. It was posted by someone whose name is Red Pillings. Although I should clarify on this, I got the image from another YouTuber. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, and unfortunately, since I just saved the image, it didn't include the information from there. But their name is like Trucker Life 5964, something like that. I could be way off, but I remember it has something to do with trucks. You know what? When I'm in the process of putting this online, I'll actually look up the Twitter handler's username so you guys can check him out if you guys want to. But most of what he posts, if not all of what he posts, are right-wing political memes, which means, of course, I'm going to enjoy a good chunk of these. And this was one of them, but this isn't one necessarily meant to go, haha, that's funny. This is more of one of those that's designed to illustrate an argument for those who are of this particular persuasion. So we all know about the bug that we've all been subjected to worldwide, and a certain magic elixir to provide the cure, even though you still have to act like the cure doesn't exist, because the cure doesn't do diddly squat. At least not in terms of preventing the spread. I mean, come on, let's be real. The CDC even agrees with that. This, what I have written down, this is the information from there, just so that I can get a good look at it. I'm actually planning on using the image itself for the thumbnail thingy here on YouTube. So you guys can look at that. I'm not really sure how effective that's going to be for you guys or not. I guess a lot of it depends on the size of your screen. But it's talking about how they're trying to apply a mandate for children between 5 and 12. So this was a list of the top 12 things that took the life of children in that same age bracket in 2019. And they did that because with some of these, I don't know if it's because they didn't have the stats for 2020 to compare them to. The number one killer, I can understand that. They probably didn't see it as being a valid thing to compare it to COVID because, there I go saying the name, whatever. I'm not getting paid for this, so what do I care? The thing with COVID is a lot of people were scared and stayed hidden for as long as they could. Depending on where you lived, you had no choice and you had to stay at home. So I think using 2020 numbers for some of these, including the number one on this list, makes sense not to include because the world was so wacky at the time. But here's what it is. 847 dead children due to car accidents. That was the number one killer in 2019 here in the United States. 847 dead children thanks to car accidents. Number two is the first one that's on here that's medical. At 775 is cancer. Now, I'm not going to go over all of these. In fact, I'll just stop at the top three. The third one at 546 deaths was some form of suicide. Because of it being just a chart, it doesn't really go into specific details on how the suicides happen. But either way, all these suicides happening far exceeds the amount of how many died from you know what. But yeah, it does the top 12 because that's where COVID ranks on the list as number 12. And this is, of course, assuming that there isn't stuff that was skipped, like between 11 and 12, which isn't that huge of a difference. It's just 85 versus 67. 67 children last year died from COVID. They are the safest group that's out there. For now. Of course, there's other variants that are probably going to be coming about, either because of the virus mutating on its own, or because the evil party that wants to control all of us and take away our freedoms. You know who I'm talking about. I wouldn't be surprised if they modified it a little bit, just to do what needs to be done to reach their goals. But I do not agree with mandates. If you want to get the vaccine, go right ahead. That's your call to make. Make sure you research this stuff. As I understand it, the quarterback from the Green Bay Packers, he did not get the vaccine because, again, from what I understand, he looked into the ingredients in there, and apparently he's allergic to some stuff that's in there, at least from what I understand. To be entirely honest, I don't really give a flying fuck because I'm not a Packers fan. Fuck the Packers. Although I will say this, they beat the crap out of my Seahawks earlier this week, but at the same time, I was kind of expecting it. Not because my team sucks, but because we've got so many problems going on. Injuries. Russell Wilson just came back. He had surgery on his ball-throwing hand, which is not this one. It's his right hand. I had a very good feeling that the accuracy of his throws was going to go down a little bit. I wasn't expecting him to throw the ball 40 times because he usually didn't do that when he was healthy. It was rare. So for him to throw it 40 times, only make 20 completions, 2 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. I hate to say it, but aside from making 40 attempts, that's almost exactly what I was expecting to happen. He'll probably work it off as time goes on throughout the season. Maybe. He might also just no longer have it anymore. So, how the fuck did I get talking about football? Sorry. Get it if you want. Research it. Don't just blindly believe what a politician or a news anchor have to say. Those two people, those two categories are probably the least relevant in terms of giving an opinion on what you should do with your fucking body. I don't give a damn what my favorite athletes have to say. I don't give a damn what my favorite musicians have to say. And I sure as hell don't give a damn what political advocates on the side that I disagree with every fiber of my being have to say. I think I need to go to bed. Of course, then again, it's after 2 o'clock in the morning. So, I'm going to go ahead and do what needs to be done, put this online, and I really hope that you guys don't have to wait another 3 or 4 weeks to get the next video. And maybe this will be the last vlog that I do, at least for a while, or at least I'll dim it down some. So, in the meantime, I'm going to try and cut this off here pretty soon. I'm going to stop rambling. Peace out, everyone. And still, to this day, if you abuse alcohol, it will abuse you back.